Hey, what's up guys? In today's video I got this Honda Civic. This is a 2010 model, but if you guys got a Honda Civic 4-cylinder 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2006 to 2012 is the same. Customer got me this hydraulic tension. The tensioner is rattling, so every time in the morning, early in the morning, brrr, that's the kind of noise you hear, brrr, and the tensioner is bouncing. So customer got me this tensioner. I know it's hard to replace, but I don't know where they got this from, but anyways, I guess you could buy those separately. Usually it's a whole tensioner. So I'm removing this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the alternator. I did take off this connector right here. All you do is squeeze it and it comes out. And then I took off the oxygen sensor, not the oxygen sensor, I'm sorry, the AC compressor. There's a number 10 bolt sitting right here. I took that off. And I disconnected the number 10 right there. My battery's not disconnected. Be careful because I did put the glove here, so you have to be careful. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the tensioner off this belt, and after that I'm gonna take off the alternator. There's a bolt here, and there's a bolt probably down below somewhere on this alternator. The alternator will come off, and after that, hopefully we get our hands onto that tensioner, the hydraulic tensioner bolt. Anyways, I'll show you a little bit more further. Okay, I did replace tensioners on these vehicles. The center bolt right in the middle, the big bolt, is hard to take off. It'll take you days. You have to heat it, put lubrication on it, but it will come off. But it'll take you long time. But a customer, when I explain to the customer, maybe that's the reason why they just got me that piece. And it's all up to them. Some people are just too smart. But anyways, let me continue this video as soon as we get this going. Okay, so far I got the alternator out, and for the alternator you have a number 12 bolt right over here. This is a 12mm that goes right there, and then you see this little one I got here. That one is down here right next to this water pump pulley right here. So you see it right there? That's where you're gonna take that one. This is also 12, and I use the deep socket. I pretty much use deep socket on both of these, just like that. This one there and that one there, they came out pretty easy. Make sure your alternator wires are just sitting over here. They're not gonna bother you. But other than that, let me grab my light. Look at this, guys. So what we're gonna do here is I might have to drop the AC compressor to get the bottom bolt. Probably not, but let's see. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this bolt right here, and then I'm gonna take off this one right here, and then this little bracket has another bolt right there. You see it at the bottom right there? That bolt right there. Let me see if I can point it with something. Okay, this little guy right there. Alright, that bolt right there gotta come out, and the bracket should come out. And then we might be able to maneuver that. If not, we're probably not gonna be able to maneuver that, but we're gonna release the 4 bolts on the AC compressor. And that's about it. Alright? And after that, we should definitely get it out of there. Alright? So let me take off some things and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm underneath the car. I took off this cover right here. It has a few clips. There's clips on the side by the tire there. But once you take it apart, you're gonna see 2 bolts that are right there. I took those 2 off of the AC compressor from the bottom. There's the 2 bolts. And now we're gonna go up on the top and remove everything from the top. So it's right next to this filter housing. You're gonna see a bolt right there and a bolt right there. 12mm. I use a 1/4 inch ratchet with the small extension. That's about like 2.5 inches or 3 inches, and a number 12. So we're up on the top now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this little bracket right here so we can see better. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I just want to make it more visual because I still gotta take out 2 more bolts for the AC compressor. I did not take off any. This bolt is not gonna come out all the way. It's gonna hit right there. Can you bring the camera a little bit over so you can see? You see it? It's hitting right there. So the bolt is not gonna come out all the way. All right, so in the one in the bottom, I'm gonna take off that one also, but I need to use extension. So I'm gonna use the same extension I use in the bottom for the AC compressor. And I'm gonna reach into this bolt in the bottom. And this bracket, you see that? Look at that. It's gonna free play. And this whole thing is gonna come down just like that. Leave the bolts in there just like that. Let's put it somewhere safe so I don't drop anywhere. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the AC compressor bolts. Switching up extension to a smaller little extension so I can reach behind this AC line. So I'm gonna take off this hard one first. Okay, I think that's all of it. So I'm gonna leave the bolt in there, no worries. The bolt, AC compressor is not gonna drop because it's sitting on the little grooves right there. And this is the last bolt. And the procedure is, you're gonna reverse the procedure to put everything back together when you're ready to put everything back together. So let me remove this bolt completely. After this, we should have more than enough clearance to take off that bottom bolt on this tensioner. Okay, so I got both of the bolts of the compressor. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna yank this compressor up and outward. Oh, there goes one of my long bolts. And there you go. Now you see this? This is the bolt we're gonna take off. Alright, so now we're ready to take off. This is a torque. Let me show you the size. You're not gonna be able to see it because it's chrome. This is T50. So this goes right there. The tensioner is gonna move with this. Okay, it's gonna stop at one point, and the bolt is gonna be loose. See all that stuff out of there? This hydraulic leaked out over time. So that was the issue right there. So I'm gonna pull this out. And I'm gonna hold it in the same position that we have it, so we don't lose that position. Because we're gonna put the new one in the same manner. See right there? So this whole thing is done. Okay, so this is all out. See that? Look at the play in that. So that was the issue right there. It was rattling. It was bouncing really bad, forcefully. All right, so that's it. Okay, now we're gonna put this guy back together, but pay attention to this arrow here. Okay, it says top, so this is the bottom, so this is where the bolt goes in, and we're gonna get this in first. Now, make sure this is nice and tight. Don't leave this loose. Okay, from after that, the procedure is just reverse everything. Okay, just the way we took everything apart, same way. Okay, and that's where I'm gonna end the video so you guys can see up to the point where I tighten this bolt, and then I'm gonna walk you through a few things. So this is nice and tight. There you go. Let me give it another snug. Do not have torque specs, so I'm sorry. Nice and tight, and should be no play in this. All right, so the rest of the tensioner just moves with this. Whatever this does, the tensioner follows. Okay, so there we have it. And what we're gonna do next is, you're gonna take your AC compressor. Make sure you put in your AC compressor next before you put this guy in the bracket, because then you're gonna have difficulties. Okay, and now if you want, you can even catch the bolt on the AC compressor. I drop one on the floor. So everything is reverse procedure from here. Okay, so I got tightened up the AC compressor, and now I'm putting this in. And after that, I'm gonna put the bolt here for the tensioner, hydraulic tensioner. And after that, put your alternator back in. And make sure all the bolts are tight, one in the bottom over here, and you'll be all set. You'll be on your way. If this works out, the customer saved themselves $500-600 because the labor was arm and a leg for that guy. Almost like $300 labor, and that's if it come out smooth. And if something breaks, the bolt breaks, that would have been additional. And there's not much you can do, you know, it's not my fault. I read you right beforehand. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Don't forget to put on all your bolts. Don't forget to put on the belt and check the routing, and you're all set.